Hello, my friends. You're quickly going to hear that we are not in St. Louis. There's a lot of noise going on. Well, actually, you already know because you've seen the title of this. We are in New York. I am right in Manhattan. I'm just standing on Fifth Avenue, which is where my hotel is. I'm going to take a little run up to Central Park, and then I think we'll go on around the park for a little bit. I don't have my watch, I forgot to grab it, so we're just going to go off this run's time for the whole thing. And actually I'm going to put my Strava on. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, you did record all that. Sorry. I thought it stopped, so you heard me for a minute. All right, let's touch some element of nature like we always do before we begin. I'm just going to touch a very small tree, but still here, on Fifth Avenue, 40th and 5th Avenue in New York. I'm also going to use this opportunity to cross the road. And are we ready to begin? Yeah? 3, 2, and 1, off we go. Okay, friends. Wow. This is quite the difference to my usual trying to find quiet. And I know we only did the Boston Together run a few weeks ago, but it really punches you in the face how just bustling New York is, and also just people everywhere, how tight together everything is, how just there's so much going on at any one time. It's just always a surprise. Well, not always, I suppose. A year ago when I came here in January 2021, it was like a ghost town. It's very surreal. And now, as you can hear, very much not a ghost town. I'm just heading... This is quite stressful, actually. All right, just gonna... There's a protest going on. There's construction going on. Just bear with me till we get to the park. Yeah. I don't really want to do a body scan till we get there. So I'm going to flip this up a bit. We will... I feel like it's... I'm just going to talk for a few more minutes till we get up to Central Park, because I feel like I'm not going to be able to think properly or let my mind go, because I'm trying to, as I'm recording this, it's probably the worst time to do it. It's 7 o'clock a.m. and so I don't want to get hit by a car, is my point. or a person. And so I'm going to hold off that stuff until then and just tell you a little bit about why I'm here. I haven't been allowed to say anything, but now that I'm here and it's happening today, I can tell you, because you won't hear this until Monday. So Allbirds just released, or is about to release, but just announced they are bringing out a running performance shoe. It is on my feet right now. It was on my feet for the Go St. Louis Half Marathon. It was on my feet for both marathons I did lately, and I love it. I really love it. And today have brought me and my kids out here to do the press conference. And I'm likely going to be speaking at the press conference, which is very intimidating with all the media. And so that event is this afternoon. However, they asked me about this, and this week, and Steve already had a meet planned. I mean, he plans his meets months in advance. And so when they reached out to me not long ago and said about this, I kind of half jokingly said, only if you can pay for my kids and a babysitter. And they came back and said, yeah. And so I was like, okay, I guess we're going. And so here I am in New York with my kids and our babysitter. And it's a lot. I have to be honest, yesterday was pretty stressful. They are both finally getting better off sickness, and they're still in that catching up with sleep phase, as am I, from having to get up multiple times in the night when they were sick. And so we were all very tired yesterday. Obviously, as I said, New York is a lot of stimulation, and so you know, we were all a bit irritable, and so it was just a lot, and I'm hoping today is better, because I did find it hard to enjoy yesterday, partly because I'm so used to coming here by myself and being able to do as I please, and especially when kids are tired, but just in general, there you go, there's some typical New York noises. They tend to be very, you know, I want this, I don't want that, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And so it was just a lot. It's really the only way to describe it. So yeah, I'm doing this. There's a press conference today. There's a run I'm hosting tomorrow for charity with Allbirds, and they're raising money based on how much people, how many loops people do around Union Park during this run, and I'm excited for that. Also getting to just be here a little bit longer. As I've mentioned before, if I'm going to go somewhere, I'm not going to fly in and out for those meetings. I'm going to make it a bit more. And so, yeah, I'm having 4 days instead of 2 here, and trying to find a balance between taking the girls around and also, doing work things myself. So that's my big update news for the week. As I said, I wasn't allowed to say anything about that, or this shoe, and so kind of made it weird in the build up to this being very secretive, because as you know, I'm not really like that. And it wasn't like they said don't say anything, but they wanted to keep it quiet about the shoe. And so I just felt like, with me, as you know, I tend to say too much, and so I thought it was probably safer to just not say anything than to say too much and then get myself in trouble, especially as, like, this afternoon they're going to have someone assigned to me if the press asks me anything that I don't know the answer to. So I'm going to have someone hovering near me during this event, which is very kind of cool but very intimidating as well. All right, I'm on 58th Street now. There's the park. We'll head in and we'll do our body scan. But while I'm navigating this final piece, one of the final turns of the New York City Marathon, as I turn onto Central Park South. Is that the name of the street? Can't be. Whatever the road they turn onto is. Why don't you take a minute to just tell me anything you want to share right now? I know this is definitely a bit of a awkward, backward way to do this, but we might as well make the most of it until we get in the quiet, which we're just about to do. So, what do you have to share?
I copied Larry on that. But 2 minutes later, Larry gives me a call. I said, hey, Larry, how you doing?
Give you a few more seconds. Oh, God, I never stop forgetting how beautiful this park is. All right, friends. Thank you for sharing anything with me. If this is your first Together run, I would really suggest going back to listen to another one before you decide if you want to stay, just because this is not a traditional format, but I still want you to be a part of what I'm doing. And for this week, what I'm doing is I'm in New York, and there's no way to avoid it. New York is busy and hectic and a lot of different emotions and experiences. So, yeah, the reality is we are going to have to do it a bit different. Okay, so let's begin 12 minutes later, 10 minutes later, with our body scan. So if you haven't done this before, what you're going to do is start from the top of your head, working your way down to the bottom of your toes. I will kind of talk as kind of a bit of a guide to doing so. And you're just going to check in with your body. Just going to see how things are feeling. Okay? All right, you ready? Now I've got to cross the busiest, most difficult bit is getting across the cycle lane without getting mowed down. All right. Okay. This is always hard, by the way. Getting on this loop, I always get the urge to... I find it hard not to keep picking up my pace, just because there's so many people around, and just passing people kind of gets you energy, and so we'll do my best. All right. Okay, starting at the top of your head, working your way down into the eyes. Make sure your eyes are nice and relaxed, especially now we've been running for 10 minutes or so. You can easily be squinting. Loosen up those eyes, around the back of the head, down the back of your head, coming into your jaw. Make sure that's also nice and relaxed. Going down into the front of your neck, round to the back of your neck, into your shoulders, down the upper part of your arm, from the back to the front, through the elbow, and the forearm, and your wrists, and fingers. Just check everything feels nice and loose. If anything feels tired, just give it a shake. Your arms are shake now, just to reset. And let's come back to the chest, working your way down through the chest into the stomach. This is where, like Tommy talked about, check in with your breathing. Are you breathing through your belly as much as you can? Taking, as long breaths as you can. working your way down into your pelvis, hips, glutes, down into the quads and hamstrings, to the back of your knee and the front of your knee, and down you go to your shins and calf, continuing down into your ankles and arches, top of your foot, and finally to the toes. Now I ask you, how's your body doing? How's it feeling today? Just give you a minute to think about that. Okay, and next, in a minute, we'll start our census check-in. But first, I want to ask you, mentally, how are you? Just take a minute to think through how you're doing. Just a few more seconds. Okay, so mentally, how are you? I'd kind of told you a little bit about my answer, but if I were to add anything, I would say I feel much better today. I feel good today. It's a beautiful morning. Just nice, perfect weather for running, which helps to really set me off in the right mood. And yeah, I'm a little bit nervous for tonight or this afternoon. Never done anything like that. And as you know, it can be long-winded. And so the idea of trying to keep my responses to short and snappy things is a little bit not in my strong suit. And I know this is a big moment. So, but as my sister kindly reminded me this morning, they chose me for a reason, and they must want me enough to cover my family coming. So that's a big sign of commitment there. You know, there's a police car and a big truck coming down here. So it might just be loud for a minute, and then once this is passed, we'll get on with our census check-in. Building materials. Must be building something here. I'm sure they're always building something here. You know what? I'm going to come off the main path. I always do the main path. There's one more of these trucks, or two more, and then I'm going to cross. You can keep running. Okay, yeah, let's just get off the main path for a bit. Just see where we end up. Okay, so I want you, I'm going to do a census check-in, which is going to be we'll take a deep breath to start, just to reset ourselves, and we'll go through various parts of our senses, starting with our smell and our taste, and finishing off with our sight, just to see what we see, because we often go through the motions on our runs, and this is that reminder to just check back in. And so we will begin. Let's just begin now. Okay, so let's take a deep breath. And another one. What do you smell? Well, there are a lot of dogs on this loop. I'm assuming that's why this is. I encourage you to go on the other path. What do you smell? I actually don't really smell anything, which is surprising. Don't smell trees. I guess I kind of smell like a stale smell. I'm right near the exit, so maybe that's why. But yeah, interesting. What do you taste? For me, I taste my toothpaste. I definitely didn't drink enough water yesterday, and my throat was very dry this morning, and just had a really gross taste in my mouth, but I didn't want to drink during the night to wake up the girls, so I just struggled my way through with a dry mouth. And yeah, first thing I looked forward to was not my athletic greens for a change. I'm going to have that when I get back, but just brushing my teeth because I needed it. Okay, what about you? What do you taste? Okay, and next, I'm going to do hearing. So what I'm going to ask you to do is take your headphones out if it is safe to do so, and just listen for a little while. You're going to see what comes out. If it's not safe for you to do so, or you're not comfortable doing so, you can just listen to my surroundings, and that's okay too. So, yeah, let's go. Give you a few more seconds there just to take it in. Okay. What did you hear? For me, I heard a conversation happening about dogs being muzzled. I heard cars. I heard the rush of wind next to my ears. I heard music. I heard birds. Lots of other things. It's really surreal ways to be, especially when you get off the main path, to be here where you're just surrounded by trees, and yet in a few minutes you're back in this just like utter craziness, and there's like a little piece of tranquility. But it's sad, I also read the book lately, How the Word is Passed, well, about 6 months ago, and so I am looking at New York different because this land was stolen, and not only that, it was actually becoming a little community and a really nice place to be for black people who was freed after slavery was abolished, and the land was taken and made into a park for rich white people to look at and have a free space, exactly what it is. So while it is a beautiful place to be, also recognising that it didn't come without hurting people. And so I want to just make a note of that, and definitely recommend that book, How the Word is Passed. It's a New York Times bestseller. Clint Smith is the author. Definitely a worthwhile read. Okay, let's go on to, well, let's check the time. Here we go. I'm not going to be able to, because I didn't use my watch. I'm going to take a rough guess of when you're finished. But for those of you in the 30-minute group, from what I see, you have about 5 minutes left. And so I'm going to want you to slow to a walk. We'll do 2 strides, and then I'll explain what those are, and then you can be on your way. The rest of us will just keep going. But yeah, let's continue on. I'm going to do a sense of touch and feel. So I want you to just be in your body for a few minutes. What is it you feel?
Sorry about that. No, that's okay. Come on.
I will say this is actually quite amazing. This is the only place other than England where only place in the US, I should say, where I've come across the fact that dogs that are off leashes are like in England, where if someone comes past them, they just either ignore them or just kind of look at them for a minute. There's no like launching at someone until the owner like, hey, or something. It's just not interested. And so we're trained not to be. So it's kind of cool to see it here in the US, because I always wondered why it never translated. Okay. A few more seconds of feel. Okay, what do you feel being in your body? For me, I feel my sweat dripping down my face. It's the first time I've been, well, no, not really actually. I've been sweating a lot in the last few weeks, but just feel acutely aware of it, especially on my nose. Also feel shoes on my feet that I'm hyper aware are going to be talked about later. I also feel my hands nice and relaxed, which is a good thing. I feel the phone in my hand, and I feel a cool breeze just cooling me down slightly. What about you? What do you feel? Okay, and finally, onto our last sense. Well, not our last sense. Our last sense we focus on here, our sense of sight. I want you to just take a little bit of time to look all around, see what you see, just be in your body. I've gone off course. Ooh, I found a little wood-chipped path. What do you see? The only thing I want to add, no, that wasn't very long, is just try and pick details. As I always say, make sure you're honing in on some small things of details in addition to just the bigger things that jump out at you. Okay, what do I see? I see green everywhere. So much lush, lovely green all around. I see big rocks. I see railings. I see flowers starting to bloom. I see dogs and people and trails and blue sky, trash cans. I see a police car. Just so much going on. It's just, and this is in the quiet part, but it is just beautiful. There's people looking up at something. They can
all yellow.
definitely bird spotting, and they're very fascinated with what they just saw. Really cool. What did you see? And again, I want to remind you. Oh, okay. Come to a walk, 30-minute group. Oh, wow. I have such a beautiful view right now of the city. Come to a walk, 30-minute group. We'll give you a few seconds to just rest and relax. And then, oh dear, I'm going to get stuck behind a big group here. We go under a little tunnel. We're going to do some strides. Excuse me, sorry. Excuse me, sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Excuse me, sorry. Oops. Found myself in amongst a tour group. I'm just around all these big rocks. I've actually never been in this bit before. Yeah. I can't remember what I was saying. Oh, okay, strides. All right, I'm actually not going to be able to do this. This is definitely not conducive to strides. So I'm going to have you go. You're just going to do, I'll tell you when to start and when to stop. 10 to 15 seconds. About 80% of your max. You're not going to try and take big strides, but more lots of little strides. And most important, just want to stay relaxed. It's only 10 seconds. Everyone's going to do this together, except me, who's in the trails. Right, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. And come to a jog or walk if you're in the 30-minute group. Okay, we'll just give you a tiny bit more time to recover, and then we'll go and do another one. And the rest of us will keep going. 30-minute crew, you can be on your way. Sorry, it was a bit over. Okay, we ready? In 3, 2, and 1. Off you go. and come to a jog or a walk, 30-minute group. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate you being here. And if you share this on social media, that would really make me feel appreciated, I suppose. Showing that you enjoy these and they're worth doing, and the extra kind of stress of setting it up. Appreciate that. And I'll see you on Wednesday for a running reunion, and Friday for a regular episode. I'll see you then. And to the rest of us, we're just going to keep going. I'm actually going to see if I can find a bathroom. Getting back towards the main course. I don't want to get too far away from the main course either, because I know that can easily turn me around to where I'm just lost and far away from the hotel. So hopefully I'm in the place I think I am. Okay, here's the bathroom. I'm going to pause. Okay, and we're back. So you shouldn't have noticed the difference there because I paused it. But yeah, I wanted to make the most of that opportunity as I saw it. I want to tell you a funny story that I was just reminded of when I was in the bathroom, which was that a few months ago I was in a public bathroom. Was I in a public bathroom or somewhere? I think I was something with my kids, and I was like, didn't have anywhere to put my phone, didn't have any hands, and so I just put it in my mouth and went like crunched down to hold it. You know where this is going, or some of you do. Crack the screen. Like totally cracked it. Thankfully I had a protector on there, but yeah, that was definitely not my smartest moment, because I was just like not really thinking of what that would do to my phone, and then of course, as you would, it's glass. I had so many pieces of glass in my mouth that were cutting my mouth open, so it was a bit of a mess all round. But yeah, definitely never do that, even in a moment of panic. Learn from me. Okay, so we've done a census check-in. We've done... Did we? Yeah, I did the census check-in. So now, just a chat. I've told you some stuff already. And what else could I talk about here? So I mentioned about the run, mentioned about the event today, and then I think we're going to try and go to Chelsea Market this morning, so that'll hopefully go well. And we're right next to Bryant Park, so there's a lot to do in that area, and it's just kind of gauging the kids and trying to guess right with what they can handle in any one moment. Especially my older daughter Bailey is very sensitive, so as I suspected with New York in general, it's kind of overstimulating for her. Anyway, okay, what else do I have for news? So these shoes, they come out on the 17th of May, I believe. We'll be able to get them in your Allbirds stores if you have one near you, and they are all over the world at this point. And they will be available on the website. Now, as you've noticed at this point, I don't have an Allbirds code. I don't know if they're going to give me one, but for me, actually, while I like passing along, money off to you, I also know that I can, it's not so much pressure on me to sell you, because I know they're not tracking it there's quite a lot of pressure that comes along with having a discount code, because you know that brand can specifically check that. And so it's nice for me to have this relationship to where they trust me that I'm going to make the most of the situation for them. So yeah, just making sure I'm going the right direction. This is where I get really turned around in this park. I don't want to be further away. So where are we at? We've already got like 4 minutes. I came off the path, didn't I? I feel like this might be the bit where I get myself turned around often. So I'm going to stop. You can keep running. I'm just going to check the map. Okay. Yeah, I'm in the right place. Okay. Alright, sorry about that. Okay. So, yeah, but it's a really nice shoe. It's responsive. It's got, I mean, honestly, it's the best, running shoe I've, in terms of energy return, I felt in quite a long time, because I haven't really run in performance shoes in a while because I didn't really feel the need. And so it's kind of cool to be in that and just to, I don't know, it just feels good. I really like that. God, I'm going to have to work on this statement. I'm not I'm not explaining it well to you. I'm not going to explain it well to the press. It's bouncy, responsive. Also, I feel self-conscious about using the words I know the industry uses, because it feels, sometimes how, if there's any wine experts or connoisseurs in here, you're going to be like, there is a difference, but when someone smells, does this thing where you move your wine around the glass and says it's woody and floral, and I'm just I don't know, I don't understand what that means. So, I feel like that should be saved for the people that make it. But that said, I do mean that. They do feel responsive. They do feel bouncy. I do feel like I'm getting a return. And the fact, I ran 2 marathons in them within a week, and they handled it really well. I didn't have chafing or anything that bothered me. I've also done workouts in them. So, yeah, I really very happy with these. So I'll have you go to the Allbirds website after that date to learn more, rather than me trying to use the right words. If you want the words, you can go to them. If you want the testimonial or someone saying, yes, I love it, I'm your person. Right, I am gonna turn and head back out now. So this is probably not going to be 45 in an hour. So actually, I'm going to have us just do a 50-minute run. You're going to know this when you start this run. 50, 55, whatever it ends up being with me. If you're in the 45-minute range, you just have to stop yourself in a few minutes when you feel like it's the right time. And I'm just going to keep on going for us to finish up by my hotel. Don't want to take advantage of my babysitter too much, especially as we have other things coming the next few days. So let's go ahead and I'm going to have us do 2 strides now, and I'm not going to have us do it at the end. Okay? Just going to run in between. Okay, are you ready? In 3, 2, and 1. Off you go. And come to a jog or a walk. I'll give you a few more seconds, we'll do one more. And then we'll head back and finish up our run together. Got another question it's another topic I want to talk to you about in just a minute as we head back. But in the meantime, let's do our stride in 3, 2, and 1. And come to a jog. So I'm going to do another 10-ish minutes just till it gets me back to the hotel. You can do whatever putts that you want with me. I'd really love, as I mentioned earlier, if you can share these. That helps it get out. That helps me know it's worth it. And not as many people have been sharing it lately, so it makes me wonder if you're still here. And not that that's why I do this. It's absolutely not. I love feeling in community with you, but I really do love to know what you think of it. Okay, so then I said about something else. It's going to be a bit tricky, and I hope you can hear me with all the noise. But I've been thinking a lot about goals and trying to find. I mentioned about the sunset lost a few weeks ago in Maui, about trying to find a place where I could maybe even scrap my bucket list or not be driven by trying to get the best this, the best that, or keep climbing up. But then I don't know, if I'm honest, if I can actually do that myself in reality, because that's just a lot of the person I am. So I've been thinking about how I can find a balance. Sorry, it's going to be very loud. How I can find a balance between those two things, of being able to have things that I want to get, but also not putting so much weight and stock in them. Now, I just recorded an interview with Steve Magnus a few days ago, which will come out this Friday, as of you listening to this, and it is wow. I mean, you are gonna love it. We went deep into all the stuff that I've been talking with you about for many, many years. We went deep in there, and he had the best answers. And it was really, I don't often make our episodes very, true running question heavy, but this one I did, and it was just spectacular, really, really good. I think it's going to be one of the ones we refer to again and again. So make sure you have the podcast saved in your podcast player, subscribed, so that you can get that one as soon as it comes out on Friday. But the main reason I bring that up is because we brought up goals, and we brought up the fact that him and I are in a very similar position, in that we've come from a background with a lot going on and a lot of things to share, but also from a place where all we've known prior to this is goals and stuff to do and those kind of things, which makes it hard to let go of. But we did talk about all kinds of interesting things related to that. We also talked about expectations. We talked about running with watches. We talked to all of it. It was a really, really good one. Not that, I enjoy every episode. I really do. Okay, that's not totally true. I will say there's been a few along the way. I've been like, oh, that wasn't great, or oh, that person seemed like when they reached out to me or when I was looked them up, they looked like they'd have a lot to say, but they either didn't open up or they didn't give much. So yeah, this there has been a few, but I do always generally enjoy them. Yeah, and I mean that. What else? So yeah, I'd love to hear, after you listen to this, your thoughts. What are your takes on goals? Do you feel like you need them? Do you feel like you don't want them? Or how do you find that middle ground? Like, I'd love your advice. Maybe you have advice that I can take and use and learn from. I'd really love to hear it. I just keep getting taken aback by just how much is going on at any one moment in this place. What am I running past right now? A big cathedral. Let's see what it is. Someone's going to be annoyed at me for not knowing what this is. Well, it's Catholic. I'm sorry, I have no idea what that is. Oh, St. Patrick's Cathedral. I have to say, after that time in Maui, I've more and more been thinking about spirituality and just how I want to go about my world, about my life, the world with it. And it's very much been on my mind of finding what is right for me. But I can pretty confidently say it's not going to be Catholicism. It's not really something that speaks to me. God, I really shouldn't maybe be bringing this up now. But I've been thinking a lot about it. But for me, honestly, I feel like Buddhism is kind of the area that speaks to me the most, religion or type of thinking. So watch this space, who knows? I'll keep my mind open. But yeah, I've just been thinking about it a lot. What my role is in this world, what we as humans' role is in this world, and how much with all the stuff that's going on, how much I can trust and how much I need to still try and push. Just interesting. Okay, so what street am I on? 47th. Five more blocks. Oh no, 6 more blocks. And I'd love to hear for anyone who, or just to think about, for anyone who has not been to New York, is that somewhere you would someday like to go? I'd love to hear if this is somewhere you have absolutely no interest in going and why. If you've been, is this somewhere you want to come back to? Or are you just one and done? Like Steve, I think I'd like to try and make him come back to just try it again. But we came one weekend during St. Patrick's Day, and as you can imagine, it was pretty crazy. And he just was like, I just don't like this place. And I suspect maybe Bailey will say the same thing. But yeah, what are your thoughts there? I'll just give you a minute to think about it. Beyond that, I'd love to know, what places would you recommend going for people? Could or could not be New York. But where do you always tell people they should go once in a lifetime or make sure they go see? I have plenty of places on my list. I don't know if I'll ever go. That is loud. But I did recently get talking to the man on the flight next to me on the way back to St. Louis, and we were talking about where we would go if we could go to one place right now. All expenses paid, no limits. I think I would go to India. I really do. Like, just culturally, I'd love to get to know India and just, really, I don't know, it's just always been appealing to me. So, I don't know where that would be. Mumbai, maybe, I don't know. I don't really, haven't thought any further through, which I know makes a huge difference, and I should have, if that's what I'm going to say. But I would, just maybe do a tour of areas in India. All right, friends, I think we're going to come to a stop here. I'm outside the New York Public Library. I think we'll be going in there in the next few days. Just going to run just a few more seconds. So if you want to stop with me, you can. If you want to carry on, you can. Either way, I want to thank you so much for joining me today, for having this experience with me and being patient with it while I worked it out. I appreciate you. You stay tuned for more on the Allbirds flyer. I didn't even mention the name, the tree flyer. You can find out more about that. And go subscribe to runningforreal.com newsletter, and that's where you'll hear all the updates. All right, thanks, friends. Oh, let's touch an element of nature to finish. I'm just going to touch a bush that is outside my hotel. Thanks for listening. Hi friends, just a quick message to say a big thank you to the Running for Real team. While I may be the face of Running for Real and the voice behind the podcast, there are a group of people who are working tirelessly to provide everything that runners could need within our community, to make our community stronger, better, and evolve and grow and learn from one another. We are working really hard to make Running for Real the place we believe it can be within our community. I just want to take a moment to thank everyone on our team. That is Victoria, Stacy, Sandy, Sally, Maria, Kelsey, Kat, Jeremy, and Erica. I appreciate each and every one of you and the hard work that you put in. Now let's get back to the show.